Welcome. Hey, this is Brian with the AZ Kayak Fisherman channel, and today we're going to do something a little different. I kind of wanted to take you behind the scenes of what I've implemented to kind of recharge or power some of my trips that are basically off grid, where you don't have access to shore power or, AC power, something like that. And you have the conditions where you want to recharge some batteries, maybe run a fridge, maybe do some simple cooking, whatever. You need some sort of solution other than bringing multiple batteries with you to kind of keep things replenished. So we're going to cover a little math today, but don't worry, it's not a lot. If that interests you, I hope you continue to watch the video, and feel free to drop me a comment or questions. Maybe tell me about what solutions you've implemented, what you're getting out of your bang for your buck here. What am I missing? Yeah. So anyway, let's dive in. All right, welcome back. Hey, earlier I mentioned kind of what this video was going to be about, but let me also tell you what it isn't going to be. This isn't a product endorsement. I'm not sponsored by these products, and I'm not going to give you a full review. This isn't a review about the products that I'm going to talk about. That's what it isn't. So let's get into what it is. So let me start with, I had to look at this as documenting, or what is the challenge and what are the requirements around this challenge that I need to kind of solve with this solution. So knowing my setup, especially for kayak fishing, I need the ability to recharge a torpedo battery, which is a stern, kind of motor for the back of my kayak. Very similar to a bow motor, similar setup, almost similar wattage too. If you did a typical trolling motor, which would be 1200 watt hours. So if you have that scenario, just change the math a little bit. And we'll get into the math a little bit here later. Of course, I got electronic batteries, so I got to recharge those. I may have some power banks, little phone kind of recharge power banks that I use to run, action cameras all day long. I mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention, but I wanted to run a 12 volt kind of DC kind of cooler that could either be a fridge or a freezer or both, as well as let's see, I have a heavy induction kind of cooking plate that plugs into AC if I need to do some minor cooking or whatever, where you may not have access to fire, or maybe fire is not permitted when you're out there camping. We're definitely familiar with that out here in Arizona. I mean, there are fire restrictions all the time. I wanted to try to eliminate bringing gas or propane or other, flammable type setups. So that was kind of the base requirements. I guess to add to that, I wanted something that was safe, reliable, known to work pretty good, that I could reuse multiple times. And thinking about it, I kind of knew the direction I was going to go. So I wanted the added benefit with this solution that I could use it with other things. And we'll get into that here in a bit. All right, so we kind of covered some of the base requirements. Now here comes the math section. A little bit of math. So we got to do a little bit of math so we know that we're, kind of hopefully solving our problem. So first is that Torpedo 1103 AC battery, that lithium battery. So it is, like I said earlier, well, maybe I didn't. It is 915 watt hour, 915 watt hour battery. So we need to be, or have the ability to recharge that. We also had the electronic batteries that I use, which are the amped outdoor 14.8, 32 amp hour battery. So that equates to about 474 watt hours of full capacity if it's completely drained. Running that 12 volt fridge for Iceco, the typical kind of what they tell you for the typical kind of daily uses for wattage or watt hours is basically 300, I think, in eco mode. In max mode, I believe it's around 600. So I'm just going to safely say we need 400 watt hours of juice for a day. Of course, I mentioned, bringing power banks to run action cameras, things like that. Maybe recharge your phone. Um, Maybe some miscellaneous lights. Maybe rechargeable bow or stern lights, headlamps, things like that, or maybe even some simple camp lights around the campsite. So let's throw in another 50 watt hours. All right, if we total all that up, bam, we get around 1840, well, 1839 if we went through that math. But let's just call it 1840, 1840 watt hours per day. So I needed a solution, and the Ecoflow Delta 2 Max comes in at 2,048 watt hours. So there we go. We can cover definitely a day, or I guess you could think of it as 2 days, because hopefully you're showing up with full batteries on day one. So just bringing that along right there, we should be good for 2 days, or a 2-day trip, even without replenishing the Ecoflow. All right, so mentioning the Ecoflow, I should probably cover some quick specs. We already mentioned the 2,048 watt hours. It is a LiPo 4 based technology, so you get that added benefit, or that benefit of 3,000 plus cycles before before you're getting to like 80% of the battery capacity left. The AC inverter typically can handle, it's a 2400 watt AC inverter. But if you turn on X Boost within the app, it can take a 3400, I think even more actually, 3400 kind of surge for a while, which is awesome if you have a bigger appliance or something like that, that maybe like a huge fridge or something that takes a lot of juice when it first turns on, but calms down. As far as outlets, usable outlets, you got 6 AC outlets, 4 USB-A outlets, fast charge, and 2 USB-C. They're both, I believe, 100 watt, which is awesome. And then you also have the 12 volt kind of car cigarette lighter plug-in there. Other inputs, well, those are the, I guess, outputs. As far as inputs, of course, you got the AC wall outlet input to recharge it at home or something, or if you have shore power. But as far as solar, it has 2 what do they call them? MPPT kind of plugins, controllers, which can take up to 1,000 watts, 500 watts each. So you can pump a lot of solar into these if you have the panels to do it. Some of the extra features with it, of course, it has an app, Ecoflow app, which is actually a pretty cool app, both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You can turn that on and connect your phone and basically control the whole darn thing from your phone, which is nice if you're in a tent, in a truck or something. Maybe you're not right next to it. You want to turn something on. You want to turn the AC inverter on. You want to turn on the USB ports. Boom, you can do that through the app. You want to limit how much, maybe you're at a really janky AC outlet, or you got a lot of stuff already plugged in and you're charging it on that AC outlet, and you only want to put a minimal amount of juice through it instead of the full, I think, 1,800 watts that it can suck from an AC outlet. If you wanted to turn that down to 400 watts, so you're kind of charging it up slower. You can all do that through the app. It's pretty cool. Very, very good app, and it tells you what's going on with it constantly. It is expandable too. It's got some ports on the side of it that allow you to hook up to, or daisy chain up to 2 more of their extra kind of smart batteries, which basically triples the capacity. So it goes from 2,048 to 6,144 watt hours, which is a lot of juice. Clearly that's something you could use in an emergency situation where you're running a lot of stuff at your house for an extended period of time. If you lose power, or hurricane problems, things like that, or you just have a lot of stuff you take camping. If you want additional information about this particular battery, the Ecoflow Delta 2 Max, I would recommend going out to a YouTube channel called Hobo Tech. Funny enough, I believe he's here in Arizona. But the guy does some awesome reviews of this type of equipment. Definitely a lot of power, battery solutions. I mean, he does some awesome reviews. He really puts the things through the test, um, and I like his videos. He's pretty cool. All right, so we've done some math. We've looked at some specs. What are you going to do though if the trip goes longer? 3 days more. Basically, beyond day two, we need to we need to replenish. We need to replenish the Delta 2 Max. So with that, I chose to use solar. I let the solar do the work while I am out fishing or, you know, tooting around at camp or whatever. I typically lock mine up in the bed of the truck, with some cable. There's some cabling that runs from the panel to the interior of the truck where the Delta 2 is, where it's powering the fridge during the day while I'm out there. And it's just gathering that sun power. As far as what I would recommend, 400 to 500 watts of solar. With 400 watts of consistent power coming in and your Delta 2 Max is at zero, essentially the math says it should take about 5.5, to 6 hours to fully replenish it from 0 to 100. Um, but you got to keep in mind panels, they're not 100% efficient. So typically what I see is panels are somewhere around that 75 to 85% efficiency. So let's test that theory out. So I can, how about we set up the one of my 220 watt panels out here in the backyard and let's see what it gets. All right, so here's the panel setup. It's a 220 watt panel. It's portable and it is 1:20 in the afternoon here in the Arizona sun here in June. So let's see what the Ecoflow app is telling us that it's bringing in. All right, so it looks like the app, looks like the solar panel is bringing in 169 watts. So let's call it 170. Not too bad. What does that equate to? So if we know the panel is rated at 220, we're getting 170 out of it. Basically 170 divided by 220 times that by 100, you get approximately 77%. So not bad. That's probably within range of what I would expect. If we put a 400 watt panel out, 77% of that is 310 watts. So if we were getting 310 watts, that's basically going to equate to about 6.5, 6.6 hours that you're going to need. 500 watt panel at 77% efficiency, that's going to 385. We've cut that time down from 6.6 down to now a little over 5 hours, 5.3. There you go, folks. I know the video is getting long, so we'll wrap it up. We've looked at this solution. We kind of went through some fun math to kind of determine the sizing of battery we needed to handle the situation. And then we've also looked at panels and a panel efficiency and how you can use those during the day. Well, maybe you're out fishing or messing around at the campsite. I appreciate you watching the video. Hopefully this helps somebody. Please hit that like, subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know what you think of these type of videos. Everybody take care, be safe out there, enjoy your outdoors. Thank you.